Hey, Accelerated Retirement folks, my apologies. There's literally the view from the balcony in the fifth floor, and it's actually still that view, but now I have power, obviously. Uh, we lost power longer than we did for Hurricane Me a couple months ago, and we do have a backup generator, and for some reason that wasn't working. Tried to use my phone as a hotspot. It can't handle all this stuff. So my apologies, folks. Really hardly ever happens. You guys know that I think in 7 years I've canceled 2 webinars and had to do this video type of thing. So I want to knock this out because we have a lot to cover. AR, man, we are having a blast in AR. Reviewing all this stuff this morning before the Hurricane Mini-Me blew through here. We're doing great. We'll talk about Facebook today. Take a look at Facebook, our financials. Everything's looking great. So real quick, China. I know there's a lot of you that are just in accelerated retirement. So for those of you in the PLTB, maybe fast forward 15 minutes because I'm going to do a quick strategic and operational brief. But folks, China, very still long-term bullish. A lot of good things going on as far as the economy. The Shanghai, the Hang Seng, and the Kospi over in Korea, and the Nikkei over in Japan, all getting nice pops. But I'm liking the pops out of, especially our FXI, the blue chips out of China, which means I think and it's large institutions that are buying, pension funds and a lot of the big heavies, which are, the gentle hand of the Chinese government coming in and saying, yeah, all's clear, get in. So nobody sounds a bell at the top of the market, and nobody sounds a bell at the bottom to get in, unless you're in China. When the government says, yeah, guys, it's time to get in, it looks like it's the all clear. Or maybe not. Maybe they're saying it's time to get in because we need you to get in because it isn't the all clear. Regardless, I think we'll have enough of a telegraph or warning sign coming that something awful is about to happen in China, and I really hope so. The warning we won't get is this. With the Carl Vinson Battle Group heading out to go cruise around the 600 miles of additional China that was built during the Obama administration. Well done, Mr. Obama. Enjoy your $1.5 billion library, and I wonder if it'll mention how you allowed a nation to add 600 miles to its coast and control essentially the Pacific Ocean. This will start a war, folks. May not be now, may not be tomorrow, but you will mark my words. When my son replaces me after he goes through flight school here at TGO, I don't know, but it is going to happen. Things go bump in the night. When 7 countries claim the 7 or the same pieces of water and islands, something's going to give. Okay, so this is awful diplomatically, but again, take off my flight suit, not my flyer's outfit. At least the gym upstairs on the roof, it's got windows, so it wasn't dark, and I worked out. So sorry for my attire here, but I need to get this video out. So China. Bullish, but freaked out. We don't have a Brazilian position in the retirement portfolio, but we're about to get one. Whiz, the EWZ is up 100% in the past year. You still think it's got room to run? Yeah. Because remember, folks, it hit a bottom, and it's funny when people, when on the way down, they're like, oh, crap, oh, well, now I'll get out of it. Or I think it's going to return. It's like, well, you actually need a 300% return to get back to where you got into it. Can it do it? Potentially. So don't sit here and go, Whiz, if it's up 100% in a year, does there still have more room to run? Look at it as essentially zero if your strategic mindset and your commit criteria are okay or solid for getting into it. Reforms, they got rid of Dilma. The new president had a little bit of a stink on him that they investigated, and they put it to bed. So he might be okay. Oil starting to catch a little bit of a bid. Iron ore and a lot of their commodities. The commodities are starting to rally a little bit. Just good stuff going on. Not necessarily super stuff, which we'll cover in a minute, but also quantitative easing. They're slashing their interest rates by 25 bips for the first time in 4 years. They did that back in mid-October. So they're starting to do the interest rate slash. I don't know if we didn't have the coin to do quantitative easing. What is quantitative easing? It was Ben Bernanke just printing, dollar bills out of the back of his town car. They can do the same thing, folks. So again, being Gordon Gekko, I look at this and say it's a good trade. Being the Whiz and knowing, we have Annie here at TGO and she's Brazilian and her family's down there. Hey, man, a lot of cities are even canceling Carnival, which if you say that, I think it's a felony in Brazil to say that. People aren't eating, folks. Police forces aren't getting paid. A demonstration the other day actually had the local police force fire shots at the federal police. There's a lot of holy crap going on down here, folks. $1 billion stadiums that I mean, you have to maintain those unless you're just going to open the doors and make them a favela. So there's a lot of warts on the Brazil trade. Don't get me wrong. And as a human, I care about that, as you know, and with Andy and everything like that. But as Gordon Gekko, hey man, iron ore, oil, political stuff maybe getting better, and slashing interest rates. If you put four things in the bullish column, those would be the things you'd want to see. But again, in the bearish column, it's just the story of the people. Covered this ad nauseum. If you're watching my sit reps, this deep state stuff is creeping me out, man. General McMaster's, if you've ever watched the History Channel, or tank battles like I do with my kid, my two boys, not my daughter, obviously, although she watches that stuff. He was the colonel, or I think he was a major at the time. And Google it, the Battle of 73 Easting, which is a line on a chart where he just swept around from the west as they were staring at Kuwait, the Iraqis going, okay, where's the amphibious landing going to come? Like General Patton with the Devil Dogs. It didn't come because we swung around. Greatest armored movement in history out in the middle of the desert. He led that. Good dude. But the fact that they clipped General Flynn, I really hope that Trump takes this and runs it in the ground. It's a felony. It was treason. It's creepy. That's this, like Trump said. He's like, what is this, Russia? Speaking about Russia ties, who did this? This is like, what the Russians do. Let's clip a heavy because the apparatus doesn't like them. That should worry you. I swear to God, guys. You know me, I'm not a tinfoil hat wearing guy on the exit ramp of I-95 on most days, saying the end is near. But that's the type of end is near stuff I never thought I'd see in my lifetime in this government. And of course, the liberals in the media just kind of whistling past the graveyard. The bigger deal is, did he talk about sanctions with the Russian ambassador? I hope he did. Otherwise, like Trump said, I would have fired him. Before, we don't start on, January 20th at 12:01, him getting on the phone and talking to other leaders, man. That's his job, or whatever. But this is going to be funny, folks. I think things are good out there, okay? If you're a liberal, you're a Democrat, you want to hang yourself. But most Americans are brimming with optimism about the economy and some of the government. I saw a poll the other day, a Pew Research poll, that said 80% of Americans think sanctuary cities are wrong and illegal. That's I've never seen a poll that high. So the 20% of the folks in the Bay Area, where else? Chicago and other liberal bastions. Why don't we take all the catch and release people? Can you even believe this? Under the Obama administration, we catch a illegal immigrant who's a felon, and they release him instead of calling ICE and saying, hey, this guy's done, but we should turn him over to you because he's illegal. That's catch and release. Trump's ending it, and he's a racist. I say after the release part, we release them into the sanctuary cities. Absolutely bust them in there and drop them off with a couple $100 and some ammo. Why not? Ridiculous. But I'm brimming with optimism. It's funny because a lot of Trump supporters are looking around going, why are people frothing at the mouth? This is why I voted for the guy. He said, I'm going to get in and do this. Now I'm doing it. That's why the market's rallying too, folks, whether it's the tax reform, Steve Mnuchin as Treasury Secretary, Khan is his big tax advisor, cutting corporate and individual tax rates. Folks, this is great if you think it's great. If you don't, like I said, you want to hang yourself. But here's why I'm bringing this up. Because you got wet blankets now. You get wet blankets like Goldman Sachs. 3 things about to derail Trump fiscal plan. Goldman, investors will soon realize they were way too optimistic. JP Morgan, Vol's about to return. We could have a lot of accidents. Hey guys, shut up. You got it wrong, man. You got the left side. You got the Brexit wrong. You got the left. You got the election completely wrong. You got the inauguration wrong. Remember the same folks who said Hillary wins. If she don't, market implodes 5 to 10%. We're all screwed. Never happened. They also said sell the inauguration. And what happened after the inauguration? Pop. The only reason the sell the inauguration thing, they could spin it into a success was because of this. And that was what? The immigration ban. That lasted what? All of a week in the news? It's still floating around, and he issued a new order. But the only pullback, quote, if he didn't do this immigration order thing right here, cut this rally off, slide it 2 millimeters to the left, there's your rally. And we were right. So don't give me this sell the inauguration crap. They meant sell it as in it's all over with. So they're wrong. Goldman Sachs, all the adults left. Lloyd Blankfein's still there, but 4 of their heavies are in the administration, folks, either in the cabinet or as senior advisors. So it seems like all these people, once the smart people left, are trying to talk the market down. They can't do that to you and I. Okay. We've talked about in the past week how the market is up, the VIX is up, something's up. That's creeping me out, guys. You can't market up, VIX up, something's up. What's that mean, Wiz? That means it's a little bit of a, I'm not going to say hold your nose rally, because in the past I'd say it's a hold your nose rally, meaning there's no belief in it. I think there's a belief in it because I talk to everybody and I see it on Main Street. I'll be in Houston next week giving a keynote to to a company one of our guys is a heavy in. I feel it on Main Street, folks, but it's not to say that the smart money, who we know can be stupid, isn't going over to the VIX box and grabbing some cheap vol. Okay, so I had to throw this up here. CNBC yesterday in their fast whatever it's called at the end of the day. Look at the bottom screen. What's the best move? Just buy everything? Even CNBC's reached the limits of their commentary, man. This is comical. What should we do? Let's just buy everything. We know that's not the answer. We're gonna talk about what we're gonna buy and what we're gonna do in a couple minutes. So a little bit flat today, mainly on some lower oil prices. We haven't mentioned the O word in a while. Remember to fear 2017? The O was oil. December, January of last year, when oil broke through 30 and the market was imploding, we all learned about oil, didn't we? So this is the first time I'm seeing this. But I got to be honest with you. Sometimes when the market does what it do, the financial media search for a reason why it do, meaning, okay, why are we flat today? Why aren't we continuing this climb? Oil's down. Oil. I think the Fed minutes were a little bit of a drag on the market, and we kind of saw what they said, and it was a little bit of a non-event. It was a little bit of a, and we're still flat. There's 9 minutes going in the close here. There really wasn't anything in there surprising. I think Janet this year gets 2 to 3 increases. I think the Fed fund futures rate, which I didn't check before I went on, I'm not going to waste your time, it'll probably get up to 25% probability for a rate increase in March. Bring it. Remember, man, we want interest rate increases if it tells us two things. The Fed thinks the economy is okay to withstand it, and it also tells us that our financial trades are going to get even better. So for those of you who are new, looking at our JP Morgan trade in this portfolio going, Whiz, you're up 22 grand. Well, how about me? Well, how about you? You do it. Facebook. So I'll get tactical for a little live stream baseball games. Guys, I told you, and I'm not only the, Hair Club for Men member, I'm also a president type of sentence. Years ago, for my folks who were probably here 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I started to wake up. 2 years ago, I started trading the hell out of it. I was a Facebook disbeliever, man. Why? Because 4 years ago, he wasn't monetizing it. 3 years ago, I started to see some signs of life. So I love being an options trader and use my brain and not believe in the hype when there was hype and believing it when my strategic mindset and commit criteria kicked in. Now our Facebook trades are printing money. Wait till we see our bull put spread, which I hopefully you closed out today. Remember, I said if you see a 7, 8, or 9 in front of any profit, get out of it, man. And this trade's up 76% right now, $1,300. Get out of it. But they're the fourth largest nation by size, right? It was just a matter of time before we monetized it. Just like Amazon, man. Amazon, Facebook. I love the fangs. I'm not a Netflix guy. I don't Netflix and chill. I don't even know what that means. I think I do, but I don't. So nice little stair step here, man, tactically. We'll finish our talk at Facebook in a second, but I just wanted to show you this. If you're in our weekly options, man, we nailed it. Last week, I said, we're over our ski tips. I'm keeping my powder dry. I think we trade flat this week. Could have put on a trade. If you don't feel it, don't do it. Okay, same thing with this week. I'm like, I think we're going to be flat, especially going into the State of the Union next week. If he underwhelms one molecule in the State of the Union with the tax thing, we're going to see a pullback. Okay, so my hesitancy to do bull put spreads here in the weekly options is maybe I pulled forward a week or two, but folks, we've been printing money in our weekly options. Shrek told me, he's like, Wiz, so I know guys are doing great, so don't hold against me sitting on some powder every once in a while. That should hopefully, again, you're looking over my shoulder watching this F-18 guy fly around the market, and hopefully you're learning a lot here. All right, let's anything else? Nope. let's get into our portfolio here. Good stuff, man. Like I said, Apple. Here's my Apple position in this portfolio. I got Apple in the PLTB and AR. I'm out of it in the urgent alert, and I'm out of it. All right, my techie's off the train, obviously, here. I apologize for the Skypes in the corner. Actually, let me see if I can just exit it so you guys don't have to put up with it. Quit Skype. Okay, so it's not a straddle. It just says that because I didn't put any front month short calls on yet because it's been on a tear, man. 137. Love it. So here's my current trade. I'm long 3 of the Jan 18 80 disaster puts and 80 calls. These at the time were just the deep in the money 80. Now they're 1 delta calls, folks. Now you see how a long call diagonal, how a bill becomes a law, right? Schoolhouse Rock Saturday morning. This has been phenomenal. Love it. 3 contracts. Let's take a look at the chart. Like I said, with the State of the Union coming up, I think he's going to underwhelm unless he gets up there and trumps the hell out of it. Look at that. Now, you know what? Never mind. This is still my definition of a tear. Folks, here's the 2.5% to 5% out of the money calls. Here's the 7.5% to 10%. And then here's the, I need to take a screenshot of this. This is a perfect one for my, updating my webinars. There's that. That's flat. There's that. And then this is a tear. Sorry, folks. I want to grab a snippet of this because this really is. There's your demo, man. If you are new, you just got a Options Weapon School free training session into selling front month upside calls because this is perfect. Apple AAPL front month call example. That's great. So it's on a tear. I'm not going to do anything with Apple. This might be a quick webinar. No, it's not. Get out. Get out of your Facebook, man. $1,300. Pigs get slaughtered. This is out the next Friday. Yeah, I got a 91% probability of making $1,700, but this is at the money volatility, folks. Say that with me. At the money volatility, meaning as I shoot this at 3:56 p.m. Next Tuesday, whenever the State of the Union is, Trump underwhelms. The at the money volatility the next morning might be through the roof, and this might be losing $1,700. Don't turn a 76% winning trade into a losing trade, guys. Don't do it. So I'm getting out of Facebook. Nice profit. 2 weeks? 2-week profit, I think it was. No, it was last week. I'm an idiot. It was on the 15th, man. 1 week, $1,200, $1,300. Again, you're all the thank you whizzes. You're welcome. Now here's I have 2 Jan 18s on and a Jan 19. So let me just remember how many contracts I have in all these. And I have March 3rds on. You ready? I have the 138s in all of these. I'm short the 138s. I'm going to keep these on, guys, the 138s to next Friday, because like I said, unless he hits the cover off the ball, he's probably going to underwhelm, and we might see a little bit of a break. If he knocks the cover off the ball next week, I'll manage him. We'll do it. But so here's the 90s. Oh, let me just click analyze so you know which ones I'm in here. 80 calls, 90 puts, short to 138s to Jan 18. So there's one Facebook trade. Here's another one that some of you might be in, that I'm in. 90 puts, 95 calls, and again, the 138s. That is to filled on Facebook, taking profits. 5 of these, how many do I have? Sorry about that, guys. 5 of these. And what was that first one? Okay. So this one, how many of these? 5, 10. I think I got 5 in here too. This is the Jan 19. This is the newest one, and it's almost blowing away the other ones. $5,200. Let me get this one right here. 5. So here's the newest one that many of you might be in since new full throttle folks. 5 of the Jan 19 85 calls and 5 of the Jan 19 85 puts. I'm not touching Facebook with those short calls. The hell is this? I hit close. Why is this trade still open? What the hell happened here? Okay, closed it for 6 cents. Why is this trade in here, man? All right, that's a stray Tron. I don't know what that is, guys. You saw me close my trade. FXI. I also have, well, let's just open the trades. This one's up $4,700. This is a Jan 18 trade. This is, I love these two FXI trades. This is synthetic stock. Okay, this is a good discussion. I'll take a couple minutes. Whenever you sell puts and you buy calls with the same expiration and same strike, that makes synthetic stock, right? What does synthetic stock mean? You don't get a dividend. I'm not a dividend dude, and you don't get to vote. I'm not Carl Icahn with 8,000 votes. I don't care. That's why I trade synthetic stock and not stock, or synthetic ETF in this case. Disaster puts at 27, and I'm short the 40s out to next Friday as well. Two things. First thing right off the bat, this is going to be a quick one too. I'm not touching FXI. I think he can do two things with China in the State of the Union. He can be tough, like he was after the election. Crap, he's being tough and there might be a trade war. No, there isn't, and he's being cool. Or he can do both. And if he does both, tough, but hey, I want a fair deal and I want to be fair in trade, I think it'll be okay. So I don't think we're going to have a pop through these 40s in a week, okay? Here's the second trade on FXI that I have on out to Jan 19. And this is a long call diagonal. 27 calls, 30 puts, and short I'm short the 38s in these. I got to manage these. Hold on. Was I short the 38s? No, I'm short the 40s in here. That's right. These were new trades. Okay, so if you're short these March 3rd 40s, they're fine. These 38s right here in the other trade, got to manage them. And look at me. Are you freaking out? Oh my God, Whiz, you lost $785. In these calls, if you want to go to court, you're right. How much money did I make with those Jan 19, 27 calls going deeper in the money and becoming 1 delta calls? Always remember that. Don't get bummed with that negative. Get super happy with the other positive. And don't be the trader that goes, well, I could have made X amount more. Well, then you should have put the calls a little bit higher and not listen to me. How about that? We can go back and forth all the time. Ain't going to do it. So let's roll these up and out, close adjust, and we'll marry them up with these other 40s. Let's roll them up and out, add edit legs. Why is this not? You ready? Close adjust. Maybe at the close here, the Trade Monster, roll up and out, add edit legs. Buy to close 10 of the thirds, 38s, sell to open the 40s. It's for a debit. I don't care. It's, quote, lessening the loss of those other calls. All right? JP Morgan. Love our JP Morgan guys, obviously. Here's the one that I've had on for about 8 months. Folks are printing money in this one. This is averaging about $3,000 a month that I've had this on. Obviously, those gains came towards the end of last year with the finance. Who cares? I don't care looking in the rearview mirror where the gains came from. They're there. I'm long 10 of the Jan 1850 puts and long 10 of the Jan 1850 calls with interest rates going up, financial regulations getting trimmed, taxes coming down, folks. This could be that JP Morgan trade I closed in December for $35,000. Not talking this one up. Oh, Whiz, you guaranteed me I'd make another 14 grand in this. It could go to zero. Jamie Dimon could turn out to be the Antichrist and the stock goes to zero. Sorry, I was wrong. Don't think so. Here's the newer JP Morgan one. This is definitely a yes. If you're new to the AR portfolio, man, I'm long 5 of the Jan 1965 calls and 5 of the Jan 1970 disaster puts, okay? Now, Whiz, you going to put any front month upside calls on? Most likely not. Let's take a look at the chart. Flat, this is another good example. Flat, 2.5 to 5% out of the money calls, a couple weeks out. Going down, maybe right at the money calls. Now we got a little bit of a tear here. Now that we got a Treasury Secretary and Janet talking, a little bit of a tear, I'm going to sit on my hands. Again, guys, this is me. If you're like, you know what, Wiz, I think the State of the Union, he might underwhelm. I'm going to throw some front month short calls on. Do it. This is the enjoyable time of a long call diagonal where you don't have to work. Not that I call this work. You know what I'm getting at. To manage. How about I say that? You don't have to manage anything. So, nope, nothing to the JP Morgan. I love these type of webinars here, man. It's just maintenance, man. Us talking. Here's our Russia trade. I'm still waiting for this thing to get airborne. This is a yes if you're new. I synthetic stock at 21. Short calls and puts to Jan 19. It's the 21 strike. There's your P&L diagram for synthetic stock. There's the P&L diagram for synthetic stock with what? a little bit of a protective put at 16. I didn't get filled last week on our short calls. Same thing with the State of the Union, guys. He could do two things. He could be nice to Russia, which I think the liberals would literally get up and maybe storm, the speaker and the vice president's stand and come after him, or he can be semi-friendly and semi-nice. I don't think that we're going to have a rip your face off rally out of that. So I'm going to do if there's 21 and a halves out the next Friday and there's any premium, I'll do those. How many of these do I have? 10. So let's go to the options chain on RSX. Options. March 3rd. And I'm just going out a little past the State of the Union here. There's, 14 cents in there. It's better than the stick in the eye, $140. It's maybe a bottle of that Camus 40th anniversary edition. Who was supposed to send Annie and I a bottle of that? Or maybe Annie, not me. And our final position is XLF. Okay. I didn't get filled on short calls last week. I don't think there's any premium in them. You really got to go out in time, guys. Again, the XLF trades, my strategic mindset, my commit criteria are still sound. It hasn't changed. But I'd go single stock now with financials. I've discussed ad nauseum single stock risk. I don't think there's that much single stock risk in JP Morgan, especially if the first call from the president was to Jamie Dimon to be his Treasury Secretary, and he said no. Okay? I don't think there's single stock risk in Goldman Sachs when four-year heavies are in the cabinet, just like ExxonMobil with Rex Tillerson. So XLF, I know some of you are in it because you prefer a basket of stocks, so I'm going to hang in this one. It'll get airborne eventually, but it's a Jan 18. If this keeps being boring and flatlining, I'm probably going to split. I'm long 5 of the Jan 18 puts and 19 calls. So if you're not in this one, this is a no, folks. It's a hold for me, but a no if you're new to the AR portfolio. Goldman Sachs, gold medal winner, but in this portfolio, I trade JP Morgan, and with great results. My Goldman Sachs trade is up 12 grand in primary live trade brief, and this one's up 22-ish. So I'm trying to catch that one. I'll go close to the money here, the 25, sell 5 of them. See, there's really nothing in here, man. This ain't exciting to me. $35. That doesn't commissions, seriously. You know what? Next week live, I'm gonna unwind the XLF position. So that's a no, guys. If you're new, I know we have some folks on 2-week test flight. All right, so couple potential new trades. To be honest with you, I was going to stay in the Facebook bull put spread. I don't know what this is, man. You guys saw me close and get filled, man. This is a hiccup. The 131s, 130s. It's close it again. I like another. When you're winning. This is weird, man. No. I'm not touching that. Let me put on a new Facebook trade. This is awesome. Look at this. We channeled. I actually said, hey, we might leg into an iron condor. This is why recently, folks, you probably haven't seen me, if you're new, an iron condor in a while. Why? You don't do iron condors in a market that's doing that. That's stupid. It's dumb to step in front of a train, grab onto the train, or sit on the platform and smile as it goes by, like we're doing with some of our long call diagonals, man. Don't need a front month upside call, man. It is. So remember, when the news is out on something, it's out. I know that's your brilliant, blinding shred of light tonight of knowledge, but when you think about it, it's the truth. Meaning, they're not going to come out tomorrow again and re-announce the MLB thing. They're not going to. It's once an event happens, it's happened. Okay, there ain't no taking it back. It's like saying the F word in church. It ain't coming back in if you let that one fly. It's like Ralphie in Christmas Story. So I like this 134 level, maybe 133. And I like it, I don't like trading weeklies in here, but here's you're listening to me ruminate here, which I think many of you enjoy because this is how you learn. When I listen to F-18 instructors in the ready room, I just listen, man. I'm like, how is their mind working? I'm a little concerned about the State of the Union. I got to be honest with you guys, and we might be having a weekly options moment here. If anything, we could I want to listen to the State of the Union, and I want to see how the market reacts, guys. And not to do our victory lap all over again. To the left side of this chart, even though I got the Brexit wrong technically with them leaving, I'm like, it's a coin flip. I think they'll stay left. Damn it. We made 22 grand throughout our portfolios trading VXX. I'll call that a victory. Everything else, Fed meeting, election, sideways through the holidays, by the inauguration, we've nailed it. So trust me a little bit, and I know you guys do, when I say that I want to wait on establishing really new positions for the State of the Union. The talking that I do, not only do I talk to heavies, folks, I don't, some of the heavies I talk to be quite honest with you, got all of this wrong. But I still, just like that E2 Hawkeye or the AWACS, it looks like a UFO landed on an airliner and carried it away, that intelligence gathering airplane, there's 25 seats in the back of that airplane, all looking at various sources of intelligence and assets and sensors. That's what I've been doing lately. And whether it was weekly options or even now in AR, I'm a little, I'm in a passive mode. And that's a trade, to be honest with you. To sit on our winnings, man, ain't necessarily a bad thing, because if we underwhelm, if he underwhelms, it's going to be bad for the market. I mean, look at our Facebook, look at our month-to-date gains, man. What's our haircut here? I'm 73-ish of my portfolio in. That's a little high for me, but the AR one is always a little bit higher, and cash at 27%. If he underwhelms, the market, I believe, will take a breather. I think it'll do one of these sell the inauguration things like, aha, see, and then we're going to go up. So I'm making that. Here's my short-term prediction. If he underwhelms at State of the Union, the markets will have a lot of Goldman Sachs, I told you so's. But by the BTFD, you guys know what that means? By the frigging dip, BTFD worked here. It worked here, it worked here, it will work there. Even if he underwhelms in the State of the Union, the dude will be on Twitter at 2 a.m. fixing what he underwhelmed. And he'll have a meeting the next day with CEOs that felt underwhelmed. The guy he gets 4 hours of sleep a night, worries me. But I think he'll fix what he underwhelms. Now, here's where I could be wrong. And you guys, hopefully you get the way I trade. You're starting to trade like this or invest like this or think like this, even if you're a small business owner. I get emails through support like, hey, man, you actually help me in the way I conduct my business. Awesome. If I'm wrong and he knocks it out of the park, the market's going to have a rip your face off rally. So, yay. Apple, Facebook, China, JP Morgan, Russia, RXLF, these will all be green. Okay. So again, I came into this with a couple, I was looking at my, the Facebook again, Amazon again, since I can't buy a fill for Amazon. I think I'm blacklisted. I think I might be blacklisted with Amazon. Got a nice Amazon box today, nice late Valentine's Day gift from Annie, which was very nice. But here's what I'm going to do. Let's sit on our hands because we don't want to force a trade. I think this is the first time that I can remember in AR. AR has been around for 6 years. We've been here for 7. I think I started AR a year later when people were like, I'm like, anybody like a retirement portfolio a little bit more conservative? And we got a hell yeah. So let's do that. Keep an eye on the sit reps the rest of the week. And there's nothing to say, folks, that Thursday or Friday that I don't see something that I won't send out one if I feel it. Okay. It's so funny because when I do all these roundtables with traders with Fibonacci this and regressment that and algo this, and until the machines become self-aware and kill all of us, they're still programmed for now by us. and based on our emotions. Trading is full of emotions, folks. This market is full of emotion. We're riding on an emotional trade right now. Remember, I call it the hope and change rally. Here's the hope that Trump will do what he says. We leveled off. And here's the change. Holy crap, he did do what he said. Immigration pullback. What? Up. Immigration pullback. That ain't going to do anything for a year, at least. God forbid we get convicted felons who are legal immigrants out of this country, man. It gives me a freaking headache listening to the liberals and stupid people. Do you equate liberals with stupid people? Sometimes, man. What the hell's wrong with getting people who not only are felons, but they're illegals out of here? Or like I said, dump them in the sanctuary city. So my conclusion, keeping my powder dry. If he underwhelms, we might see a pullback, okay? Maybe a little, cheap VIX protection. But I'm not even seeing that there, though, because some people, yesterday at PLTB, people are like, why don't we throw in some VXX or something like that? I'm like, there's no premium in it. Even if he underwhelms, market pulls back a couple percentage point. You don't think Goldman Sachs is going to get long on that little bit of a pullback? Remember, Goldman Sachs, Google this tonight on the couch as you're watching the Panthers game. Giant vampire squid, Rolling Stone. That's what did a big expose on Goldman Sachs. They're an octopus, folks. They're telling on one hand their investors to do this while they're actually taking the other side of the trade, man. They're the Death Star. They really are. Not saying they're evil, but they know how to print money. And if they're trying to talk this market down like I briefed you on, it's for a reason. They ain't doing it for their health. And if well, you can't get Obamacare reformed in the blink of an eye, so that's a problem. Hey, man, there's like X amount of it's hurting cats, and Paul Ryan he's a has-been, man. Mitch McConnell, these guys are throwbacks. The political environment appears to be polarized as ever, so he can't get stuff done. And some of the recent administrative actions by the Trump administration serve as a reminder that the president is likely to follow through on campaign promises. That's bullish for me, Goldman Sachs. Lower taxes, less financial regulation, interest rates going up, and giving business control back to businesses, allowing Apple to bring back $200 quadrillion from County Cork, Ireland. Seriously, man. And the guy that wrote this article probably, makes $100 million a year. Go figure. So, guys, let's use this as I love saying this because it makes a lot of your skin crawl like mom. Let's use this as an Obama teachable moment. I've never, just like 2008, I'd never traded a financial tsunami like that. Now I have. I've never seen a political environment like this where a president has come in, shaken up literally the establishment in Washington to the point where they're stunned, to the point where we have the deep state taking sniper shots at people and forcing them out of the government, or keeping intelligence from the president. So, folks, let's grab some popcorn. Let's watch the State of the Union. Let's see how he does, and then we're gonna know. Because remember, as options traders, folks, we can make money no matter if the market's going up, down, or sideways. So we can shift. Right now, folks, I should have started with this, but I'm going to end with it. I'm still cautiously bullish, but the cautiously is in all caps, and the bullish is in lowercase. Still bullish, but the cautiously is the State of the Union. Okay? Again, my apologies for the damn internet here. When Andy and I were riding out the hurricane here, I think we lost power for like 10 minutes. Hey, we survived Hurricane Matthew. And today, the power goes out, no standby generator. And like I said, this thing ain't, even though this has more computing power than the Apollo program putting a guy on the moon, it can't handle all my open windows and stuff like that. So my apologies. If you have any questions about anything I covered, jump in the Ready Room. I'll be on extra duty tonight watching the Panthers, most likely on the couch here or up in Boca with the kids. So hit me up in the Ready Room. Juan, I know you had a question in the Ready Room about some stuff. I will take a look at that. I think initially reading it, do me a favor. I do know a lot about the Options House platform, but there has been a lot of changes. If you have any trading questions about their tools, you got to call them. Literally, you are talking to a trader who might have even built those tools. We'd be playing telephone. I'd actually probably go talk to them and then give you an answer. So we'd be wasting time on. So do me a favor. I'll take a look at your question. If I can throw some insight, I will. But if you guys have any questions on any of your brokerage tools, They're literally a trading desk. When you call customer support, it ain't India, folks. And they're usually former floor traders who came upstairs and got electronic. So they went deep from being a caveman to a booger eater. So Juan, I'd give Options House a call. Okay. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll see you most likely next Wednesday for our Accelerated Retirement session. I do have a flight to Houston on Wednesday. I have to check my time to go speak to, like I said, a TGO members company on the USS Houston. So looking forward to that. It's Texas Independence Day. I'm going to be on the USS Houston, and I'm going to be wearing my Texas boots that Annie got me for Christmas. All right, guys, God bless, and I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see.